Hare Krishna. So we will start with the Kirtan. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamite Namah Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamite Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadesh Namaste Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadesh Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya 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 Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. युग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। I think my alarm is most. So welcome back everybody to the Gita course. Very, very happy to meet all of you again. Couldn't be with all of you last week. Can this gap be filled up? Can you please come forward if you don't have any problem? Yes. So today we are studying a very important session which is called as karma. So this karma as a section is very, very important for all of us to understand, because essentially speaking, everybody is completely involved in karma all the time. So it makes a lot of sense to know the intricacies of karma. What is the meaning of karma? How to go about this karma? how much to do this karma, how much not to do this karma, and such forth. But even before we begin this session, I would like to remember my teachers, my spiritual masters, who have taught me everything. And I would like to dedicate this session only for their pleasure, hoping and praying that whatever we try to discuss, whatever we try to inculcate today, it may be done in such a way so that they may get pleased and we may become more closer to Lord Krishna. So I would like to seek the blessings of Srila Prabhupada and all the sincere followers of Srila Prabhupada by chanting some pranam mantras. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasati Gauru Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hare Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So today's discussion is quite an interesting discussion. It's called as karma. Everybody should know this art so that they can not simply work, but they can, work can both bind us and liberate us. I repeat, work can both entangle us as well as liberate us. Working in such a way so that one gets liberated, or knowing the work or the art of work in such a way so that one gets liberated, is called as karma. And this karma has been talked about in the Bhagavad-Gita. So primarily we are going to study the chapter 3 of the Bhagavad-Gita today. But before we start, it's been some long time. Let's quickly do a recapitulation. Can we quickly revise some points if somebody remembers? Actually, this is not a recap. I'm sorry, I've given the wrong title. It's the agenda. So the agenda for today is that we'll see what should we do, work or renunciation, which is best. We'll see if there is some inactivity, what are the dangers of that inactivity. We'll see what is this bhoga tyaga tendency. We'll discuss what is the authority of the scriptures as far as work is concerned. We'll discuss what is the practical tip of the day that can make your life happy. And lastly, we will discuss something called as the importance of Karthik Month. Presently, the Karthik Mass is going on. So what can we do special in this Karthik Month so that we become recipient of extra mercy? So work or renunciation, which is, by the way, Anybody joining for the first time today? Joining for the first time? Okay. 3 people. Good. Make sure you register for this Gita course so that your name and number comes in our database, and then we can be in touch with you. Work or renunciation, which is the best? In the 3rd chapter, in Shloka number 1, Arjuna asks Krishna. Arjuna Uvacha, you can repeat it. Arjuna Uvacha. Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhi janardana tadani bhore mam niyom jayasi keshava. Arjuna said, "O Janardana, O Keshava, why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare if you think intelligence is better than fruitive work?" So Arjuna is in a confused state of mind. And in the 2nd chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna is very mercifully describing the constitution of the spirit soul to Arjuna. And the idea which Krishna had was to deliver his friend Arjuna from the clutches of illusion, bewilderment, attachments, material grief, and things like that. So in the 2nd chapter, Krishna has said, 2nd chapter, which I explained in the previous time or in the previous session, is like the summary of the entire Bhagavad-Gita. So Krishna told Arjuna to be peaceful, sthita pragya, not be so much agitated. And at the same time, he's also asking Arjuna to fight. So Arjuna is a little bit getting confused. He's asking this question: why do you want me to engage in this ghastly warfare? Just now you told that Jnana Yoga or intelligence is better than fighting. Why do you want me to do this nasty, ghastly karma of fighting and killing people? So sometimes Krishna consciousness is misunderstood as inertia. How many of you know what is inertia? Continuity of what? Yes. Inactivity, or trying to, sometimes the people think that let me go to some secluded place where there is no one and where I have nothing to do. And there I will sit and chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra throughout the day. And then I'll become very advanced in my Krishna consciousness. That is not advice. Until your heart is free of material desires, until you have the transcendental realization, and until you have lost the doership mentality from your heart, and until you are sufficiently trained in philosophy, and until someone has specifically asked you to do it, you should not take such a path. There are some politicians in India who, just before the election, they like to go to some mountain, and there is a cave in that mountain. There is a nice chair and table in that cave along with Wi-Fi signal. They go and sit there and they meditate for some time and they come back, and then they release their election manifesto. Krishna consciousness is not like that. I'm just joking because I saw this politician doing it. So he's completely misunderstood. So Krishna consciousness is not like that. You cannot just retire somewhere and think that you will be alone. Some people have this misunderstanding. I'll go to Vrindavan, I'll sit in some bush, or even better, I'll buy a flat in some dham, a nice 4 BHK, 3 BHK, AC, everything, swimming pool, flat. And then I'll just go there 4 or 5 months. I will stay there. I will chant. I'll be a spontaneous devotee. Whenever I want, I'll sleep. Whenever I want, I'll get up. Whenever I want, I'll do something. Whenever I want, I'll not do something. I have no authority above me. Nobody to see me. Nobody to report. Some devotees do like that. They are not sufficiently trained in philosophy. They are not sufficiently understood the Bhagavad-Gita. They have not read the books of Prabhupada. And they want to go to seclusion outside the association of devotees. And they are thinking that they will advance in Krishna consciousness. And that is not the case. The only thing which such kind of people get is some cheap adoration from some people. Oh, just look at him. Or just look at her. So nicely, whole day they are in their house, not coming out also, away from everybody. Whenever I call him, he comes to the window with the japmala in hand. So Arjuna was also misunderstanding Krishna consciousness as this inertia. He thought that instead of doing my prescribed duties, I should rather retire and go to the forest and live by begging, rather than killing my own teachers, grandfathers, uncles, nephews, etc., etc. One of the acharyas writes in their commentary that if Arjuna would have done this, then what would have happened? Duryodhana and others, if Krishna would have allowed Arjuna to go to the forest and become a mendicant, then Duryodhana and others, Karna and others, Shakuni, they would have followed Arjuna and they would have made fun of him and instigated him. And Arjuna, being a warrior, a Kshatriya by nature, by spirit, wouldn't have been able to tolerate it, and he would have given up his so-called sannyas and would have picked up the bow and arrow again, and he would have again started fighting and killed them. Now, when Krishna is ordering him to fight, if he is fighting, he is not getting any sinful reactions because it is the order of Krishna. It is the Dharma Yuddha, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetra. But next time, if Arjuna would have taken renunciation and upon being instigated again, if he would have taken up the fight, at that time when he would have killed, it would have been his personal battle, not a Dharma Yuddha. So at that time when he would have killed his brothers and grandfathers, that would have given him serious sinful reactions. So this is one commentary which I read in one of the teachings of one of the acharyas. So Arjuna is confused, just like many people these days are confused. Should I work or should I just give up working? This is the question of Arjuna. Should I become a renounced person or should I work? Work for Arjuna is to fight. So sometimes Arjuna gives 5 reasons not to fight. 4 of the reasons are there in the first chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, and the 5th reason is given in the second chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. So Arjuna is very skillfully trying to avoid doing his prescribed duty. Arjuna is a statesman, he is a Kshatriya. And it's the duty of such a statesman to protect the law and order of the society, the law and order of the country. And instead of doing his job, he is simply trying to run away just because his brothers and his nephews and uncles and grandfathers are involved. It's like saying that, okay, such a great scam has been uncovered. And because my grandfather and my uncle and my brothers are involved, so I don't want to do my duty and I want to let it go. And I only want to resign from my position of being the auditor or the controller, something like that. That was the situation. But there was one good quality in Arjuna. He was a sincere student. He did not sit with his confusion. He submitted his query, confusion, agitation of mind in front of Krishna. This is something which many students don't have. Many people like to live with confusion. I'm confused, let me not ask about it. Because if I ask, then I don't know what they will think. This is the fault of the present education system also. And this is the fault of, in many ways, the society also. The present day education system is such that if someone doesn't know anything, people laugh at that person. So many students, they hide that I need help. I don't know this. Even the society or the families, they make fun of each other. That see, he doesn't know this much also. Sharma ji ka beta ko malum hai, but unko itna bhi nahi malum. This is the condition. It's okay not to know. It's okay not to be perfect. It's okay to ask and try to understand. This consciousness is not there, but Arjuna had this consciousness. He was a sincere student. And he placed his queries, serious queries. Should I fight or should I not fight? He had this very, very serious query and he placed it in front of Krishna. And when he placed this matter in front of Krishna in the first verse of the 3rd chapter, then Krishna, as a perfect teacher, as a perfect counselor, as a perfect friend, started speaking about the art of Karma Yoga. And that is what the 3rd chapter talks about. Arjuna's mentality was that I have so many problems in my life, so let me become renounced. Let me give up all these affairs and become a sannyasi. Some people have a similar mentality. The extrapolation of this mentality is that let me give up my body. That means let me commit suicide and then rest in peace. Have you come across a person who has this kind of a mentality? I have so many problems in life, so let me end my life. Have you come across? Now let me ask you a very difficult question. Have you got such a thought sometime? Many people have got. Let me be honest, 99% people get this thought almost on a daily basis. We just don't want to admit it. Let me just get out of here. Enough is enough. बहुत सुन लिया, बहुत सुना लिया. But then this will not solve our problem. Inaction is never a solution. The best way to solve a problem is to face it. Inaction is never a solution. We must face the situation that is sent to us by the Lord. So, what happens when you commit suicide? I want to discuss the subject matter of suicide today. What is suicide? What is the meaning of suicide? Running away from the truth is suicide. Very hypothetical definition. Giving up the body is called suicide. Can we put it like forcefully taking one's own life when the time of death has not arrived? Can we say that is suicide? So that is a sin, that is a crime. Even in terms of the government or the legal state of affairs, that is illegal. Criminal activity. Yeah.
Abetment is also a crime.
Sorry?
Abetment to suicide is a crime.
Abetment to suicide.
It's also a crime. So somebody who is trying to
Yeah, that's also sin. Yeah. Have you helped someone?
No,
Until unless your name comes in a letter, you'll never know. You have helped in some other way. So, I come from a city, a town rather, called Jamshedpur. I've been born and brought up there. So there is Tata Motors, Tata Steel, Tata Pigments, Tata Viron. Basically a town run by Tatas, commonly called as Tata Nagar also. It's a very different kind of city. The Tatas, they do a lot of civic amenities and public welfare there. Not like other cities, a quite stable city. People who are there, they work for Tata 40 years of their life. When they are 20, 21, they get the work, and then until 60, they are working. And Tata gives them quarters to stay, schools, hospitals free of cost and things like that. It's kind of a very smooth going life. Once upon a time, one of the employees of this startup tried to commit suicide. But then he didn't die. That is also happening most of the times. In fact, if you take the statistics, there is something called as suicide, something called as suicide attempt. If there is one suicide case, then there will be at least 40 suicide attempts. 1:40 is the ratio. That means 40 times people just try to show others that, see, I can do this. But I've not done this. So listen to me. So that started happening in this town of Jamshedpur. So Tata has made a law that if you commit suicide, make sure you die. If you don't die, then you lose your job, you lose your PF, you lose your EPF, and none of your family members will get your job, and no civic amenities, no quarters, no hospital, no schooling, nothing. So since that time, in Jamshedpur, nobody has committed suicide. You see? So suicide is a serious problem. What happens when you are in a jail and if you try to run away from the jail? And then police catches you. Then what will happen? So if you are in a jail and you have tried to run away from a jail and the police has caught you, then what is going to happen to you? Your punishment generally becomes double.
Maybe double, tougher.
Tougher and double. So similarly, this body is considered to be a prison house. I had explained, I think, in one of the sessions, how this body is a prison. You have been sentenced to stay in this body for some amount of time. This body can be a cat's body or a dog's body or a man's body or a woman's body or a human being's body or a demigod's body. You have a certain amount of time. Before that time, if you quit your body, then you are rebelling against the laws of material nature. Suppose this apartment belongs to you, and I come to this apartment and I ask you to leave. Is that criminal? I'm not. It's your apartment. You are supposed to stay there. How can I ask you to come and leave? So similarly, talking about suicide, another topic which comes to my mind is abortion. A particular soul has been allotted a particular womb of a mother of a particular species. That womb it rightfully belongs to a particular child. But just because the parents think they have a very good reason, they abort the child. Don't you think that is criminal? Do you own an apartment? Okay, good. Please stay like that. Don't try to own one. Anybody owns an apartment? If I come and throw you out of the apartment, of your own apartment, how you'll feel? Similarly, that child owns that womb. He has earned that womb. It is his rightful place to stay, his or her. But if you throw him out, it's illegal. Just like if I throw you out of your apartment, it's illegal. Similarly, if you throw out a child from the womb of a mother of a particular species, it's illegal, and it's a crime against the laws of material nature. Those who have done this, they will also be aborted many, many more times. And that's the law of nature. It's very, very serious. The people don't know this, they are simply doing something rubbish. So suicide means if you try to commit suicide, then you are given a particular body which is known as ghost's body. It's a very, very horrible. How many of you have experience of ghost? Experience of a ghost. By the way, do ghosts exist? Is it reality or is it figment of your imagination?
I haven't seen the power.
Do they exist or not?
There we are existing. But at that time, pressure from all the side. Then I have to do the suicide.
No, I'm asking about ghost. So ghosts actually exist. When somebody tries to commit suicide and it is before their time, then they are punished by the laws of material nature to have a ghostly existence. That means I explained that we all have three kinds of bodies: physical body, subtle body, and spiritual body. So this is the physical body, gross body. Subtle body is that which you cannot see, made of mind, intelligence, and ego. So ghostly existence is on the subtle platform. You have the desires, you are the same person, you have the same mentality, you have the same desires for doing sense gratification, but you do not have the apparatus to do it. Right now, I'm seeing, okay, this is nice flower I want to smell. So I have the apparatus I can take, and I have the sense organs I can smell. Oh, this is a nice piece of cake or something I want to eat. So I have the apparatus I can eat, I can taste. The ghosts also have these desires, but they do not have the apparatus to do it. In the subtle body, it's very difficult for them to do it. So therefore, ghosts are always very frustrated. The same ghostly experience one gets when they are in old age. When one becomes old, simply by becoming old, your desires don't leave you. You have the same desires. If you have not gone deeper in Krishna consciousness, then you are the same disgusting person as you were in your young age. But as you become old, your senses become weak. And because of those weak senses, you are not able to do sense gratification so rapidly and so nicely. But the desires are there. So therefore, old people are generally frustrated with it. Why? Because they did not become Goswamis, they did not know how to train themselves. Can Prabhujis can sit on the left, please. Somebody can do this crowd management and send everybody as much as forward as possible. Let's not have gap in between. Let's have a packed up audience and not a spaced out audience. So we must always face the problem. How many of you want to become a ghost? Please raise your hand. Good idea. No, don't become a ghost. It's like you are a prisoner in some prison and then you have been given sentence, but you're trying to run away and you're getting caught. You know, in movies they hear, or sometimes in real world we hear. Actually, I've never seen a case where someone has escaped from prison and never been caught again. Sooner or later, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year later, they are always caught again. But don't think you can do the same thing with the laws of material nature. Laws of material nature you cannot escape. You might be able to hypothetically escape the police, but you cannot escape the laws of material nature. They'll just finish you. So inaction. So for example, another problem. When I was doing my graduation, I had a friend who was not able to pass some of the subjects. So sometimes in some semesters, he used to postpone the exam, giving some reason. In some semesters, he would say that I have not studied. So not giving the exam or not studying is not the solution. What is the solution? To face it and clear it off. So running away or inaction is never a solution. So Arjuna wanted to run away. He had some prescribed duties in front of him and he wanted to very scientifically giving some nice reasons and run away. But he did not understand that renunciation is not a joke. Renunciation requires a lot of spiritual stability. Only when one's heart is cleansed through transcendental knowledge, and only when one has been able to give up the desires for sense gratification. Only when one has been able to come out of the doership mentality, and only when one has proper guidance, these four criteria being fulfilled, only then one should take to the path of renunciation. Renunciation is not a joke. These days, why the renounced order of the society is not so much very respected. Why? Because there are some people who are taking to the renounced order without getting properly trained. And then they are making a fool out of themselves. And they are getting into scandalous activities. And then the whole society is thinking all the renounced people are like that. Suspicion. These days, if somebody is in the renounced order, the first thing which comes in somebody's mind is let me check them out. Are they proper or not? Why this has happened? Because of these things. Without purification of heart, if people take to renounced order, they only bring bad name to the renounced order. Without transcendental realizations, if someone takes renunciation, it's not stable. Without properly being trained in the matter of philosophy of Bhagavad-Gita, if someone takes renunciation, it's not good. Without proper guidance, if someone takes renunciation, it's not good. Without getting rid of the doership mentality, if someone takes renunciation, it's not good. Renunciation should not be driven because of problems. I have so many problems in my life. Many times in ISKCON, some people come, various temples. I'm fed up with my wife. I want to take sannyas. Like many people come every day. I've seen so many people. Sometimes ladies also come. My son doesn't understand me. My husband doesn't understand me. I want to dedicate my life. I want to take sannyas. My answer to them is first you become a devotee. First you chant Hare Krishna. First you read the Bhagavad-Gita. First you watch the vessels. Most of the time when such people come, I take them to the kitchen and I show them our big vessels. And I tell them, please wash it for 1 month. Then we'll discuss. Then they say Hare Krishna and then they never come back again. So that is their renunciation. So I'm just trying to discourage renunciation due to problems. Arjuna had this mentality. I have so many problems in my life, so let me just renounce everything. Renunciation should not be triggered by problems. Renunciation should be triggered by realizations, should be triggered by purification of heart, should be triggered by transcendental knowledge, should be triggered by a higher purpose and a higher guidance. This always remember. So how many of you feel that renunciation due to problems is very good? I'm having so many problems, let me just renounce everything and go to the Himalayas and have a cave. I'll sit there. I'll do my Vipassana meditation. For how many days they do these days?
But we are carrying same brain, not here.
Yes, very good. You're very smart. Even inside that cave of Himalayas, my mind is the same. I'm still thinking about my neighbor's wife. And I'm still thinking about my Facebook status and my other thing. So without stability or spiritual realizations, it's not possible. To simply put it summarize it, as long as you have material desires, you should work. You should work. As long as one has the desires to sense gratification, they should work. It's not a joke. So I'm just giving you an example. Bhog and Tyag. This, I think everybody can correlate with this. Everybody takes some vows. I'll not do this, I'll not do that, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll not eat this, I'll not eat that. But then how many days are we able to sustain it? We have some bad experiences, so we do Tyag, we give up few things. But then this mind has this sankalpa vikalpa tendency. After 2 days only, the mind will suggest you, enough is enough. This happens to devotees also. what to speak of devotees. This mind is such a rascal. Nobody should trust their mind. The spiritual master of Prabhupada used to say that when you get up in the morning, you should beat your mind 100 times with a broom, and before sleeping, you should beat your mind 100 times with a shoe. That's the kind of treatment you should give to your mind. Completely ignore it. Never trust it. Never follow it. If the mind is telling do something, do opposite. That's how we should treat their mind. So, I'll tell you how my mind tries to cheat me. I wake up at around somewhere between 3:30 to 3:40. I wake up. Every day, my mind will give me a reason. Yesterday night, you slept very late. Please sleep a little bit more. Whenever you speak, so much truth comes out of your mouth. If you are not in proper, if you have not rested properly, how you can give your time to others? So for the welfare of the society, you should miss the Mangalarti. You should sleep. The mind gives proper, just like Arjuna was giving proper philosophical reasons, the mind gives nice reasons. I'm sitting to chant. The mind will tell, just see, you have already chanted 6 rounds. And all these rounds you've chanted very focused. Can you just get up and check your mobile? Some earth-shattering important messages would have come to you. The world needs you. You need to save the world. And the moment you listen, you're gone. Someone takes a vow that in the month of Karthik, every day I will chant. After 3 days, the mind tells, see why you took this vow. So that you become serious in Krishna consciousness. Already you have become so serious, in the last 3 days. Now it's time for a movie. Just go put your japmala somewhere. Go for a walk. It's important to breathe fresh air also. So go out. Give japa, relax. And you go out and then you meet a friend and then you meet another friend and then they take you somewhere and then whole Karthik month is gone after that. So this is called bhoga tyaga tendency. And the major reason why this happens is because of the mind. You take a vrata or you decide that, okay, I'll be renounced now. So after 3-4 days of renunciation, you feel, I'm good now. Let me just see what was there. Now I'm more advanced. And then you go and then you get trapped and then you're doing very nice bhoga. But then when the problem with bhoga is that bhoga doesn't satisfy you. Sense gratification always leads to frustration. Something for your diary. Sense gratification always leads to frustration. You're thinking that, okay, if I eat this cake or if I get that car or if I engage with this person, I'll become very happy. But every time when you try to do it, you don't become happy. Rather, the lust to do that activity more and more simply keeps increasing, but you are not getting satisfaction of heart. So after doing it 50 times, you become frustrated. And then you decide, let me become a sannyasi. The desire to do sense gratification is there. See, please try to understand. I'm trying to do sense gratification. I tried it 50 times. It didn't help me. So I decided, let me take sannyas. But I'm a rascal. The desire for sense gratification is still there. But I decided, because I'm not able to do proper sense gratification, so let me give it up. And then I go on the path of renunciation. But the rascaldom is there. The sense gratification desire is there. So few days I walk on the path of renunciation, but then again, the desire to do sense gratification pulls me back. Then I again start doing sense gratification. Then I realize I am not able to do proper sense gratification. Then I again become a sannyasi. And then after some few days of sannyas, I again become a bhog, tyag. Now do you understand? This is the pendulum problem which most of the people have. So, Krishna is also addressing this problem. He's telling, karmendriyani samyamya ya aste manasa smaran Indriyarthan vimudhatma mithyacharah sociate. Can you read the translation loudly?
The senses of but whose mind dwells on sense objects certainly deludes himself and is called as
One who restrains the senses of action. Senses want to do sense gratification. So one has understood that sense gratification is wrong. I should not do. So he is trying to restrain. Okay. But whose mind it dwells on the sense objects all the time. Such a person is called as a pretender, mithyachari. For example, according to the Varnashram system, the Varna or the ashram to which I belong is the Brahmachari ashram. So I'm supposed to lead a life on the platform of Krishna consciousness. Brahmacharati iti brahmachari. One who is leading a divine life is called as a brahmachari. And one of the major aspects of brahmachari is that he should be a servant of his spiritual master. He should read the Vedic scriptures. And he should be controlling his senses and practicing celibacy. Some of the basic tenets of brahmachari. But suppose being a brahmachari, suppose if I wear this attire of a brahmachari, but in my mind, I'm always thinking about the opposite gender. I'm trying to restrain my senses, but in my mind, I'm always thinking of the opposite gender. Then I'll become a mithyachari, not a brahmachari. And then my brahmacharya is just a farce. It'll be just a show. Dhyayato vishyaha pumsa sangashteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamat kamat krodhi. By meditation on the sense objects, one develops attachments. And by this attachment, one gets into the trap of lust. Lust leads to anger, anger leads to bewilderment, bewilderment leads to loss of memory, and loss of memory leads to loss of intelligence. And when one loses the intelligence, one is ready to commit all sinful activities. So everything starts from meditation. So therefore, Krishna is saying, one who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, he certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender. So therefore, if one wants to give up something, they have to stop the thought process of that also. Dhyayato vishaya. You should not meditate on the sense objects. Then only you can actually give up something. Suppose somebody wants to give up gulab jamuns, but they have the wallpaper of gulab jamun in their laptop, and on their work desk, they have a picture of gulab jamun. They have set message alerts to the increase and decrease in the prices of gulab jamun. Then how will they be able to give up gulab jamun? So therefore, Lord Krishna is telling, it's better to be an honest sense gratifier than a dishonest renunciant. Do you understand? It is better to be honest and accept that, yes, I'm a fallen conditioned soul, I need sense gratification, and I'm doing it, rather than being a dishonest renunciant. Or, in other way, this verse is a very nice instruction by Lord Krishna to all the people who are wanting to get out of the cycle of sense gratification and understand that they are not the body but the spirit soul, that they need to control their mind. Dhyayato vishaya pumsa. If you cannot control your mind, your spiritual life cannot begin. Can you repeat this with me? If you cannot control your mind, your spiritual life cannot begin. So this reminds me of a very nice purport from the first canto, chapter 5, I think, verse number 24. Srila Prabhupada makes a very nice statement in his purports. And I was sharing this with my friends. He says, please listen and please note down and please remember. Without being self-controlled, without being disciplined, and without being fully obedient, no one can become successful in following the instructions of the spiritual master. And without doing so, no one is able to go back home, back to Godhead. 1.5.24 purport, Srimad Bhagavatam. I repeat, without being self-controlled, without being disciplined, and without being fully obedient, no one can become successful in following the instructions of the spiritual master. And without doing so, no one is able to go back to Godhead. So therefore, self-control, discipline, and obedience, DOS, discipline, obedience, and self-control, DOS, is very important in spiritual life. So make such nice ways to remember. So the point which I'm trying to say, till the time our minds are attached to sense objects, we cannot renounce anything. Let's not fool ourselves. Let's not make a fool out of ourselves and a fool out of the renounced order of the life also. Simply, some people like to do, they want to sit in meditation also. There are so many people who will be found sitting like this. I don't know what they are doing sitting like that. If we ask them the question, can you control the flow of thoughts in your mind for 30 seconds? Now, what do you do simply sitting like this for hours together? Exactly. You go to all these fancy yoga studios. I'm not criticizing, but this is the reality. Most of them in the name of meditation are sleeping and snoring. Like loudly they are snoring. And when we ask them what you're doing, we are into yoga nidra. If Lord Vishnu will hear these things, he will say, what is going on in the name of yoga nidra? So, see, even to do meditation is a concept of the Ashtanga yoga system, where yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, 8 stages are there. So before trying to meditate, some yama and niyama have to be followed, do's and don'ts. These fancy yoga studios, they will not teach you all that. In order to do meditation, one needs to give up meat eating. No meat, no fish, no eggs, no onion, no garlic. No intoxication, no tea, no coffee. No gambling, not having an engagement which is full of anxiety, which is a kind of a job where you have to lie a lot. And no kind of illicit. In fact, for doing this kind of dhyana yoga, you have to completely give up sex life. These are the do's and don'ts of starting meditation. Now, if these people will tell you all this, then their shops will close. Rather, they tell you, you come, you do meditation, and then you make your senses strong, and then go out and do more sense gratification. That's what they tell you, right? You come, this fitness center, that power yoga, these days wheel yoga is going on. You take a ring or a wheel in your hand. In 2011, a new term has come out which was called as doga. While you are doing yoga, you take help of your dog. And then it's called as doga. So these days, one kind of power yoga has come, which is called as wheel yoga. You take a chakka in your hand, and you do a few things with it. And then why you're doing all these things? So that you can more nicely do sense gratification. I met a 70-year-old man, he was telling, see, I do pranayama every day. I go on top of that hillock and I do. I'm 70 years old, you see, I'm able to eat rasgulla also, I'm able to drink tea also, I'm able to eat that masala also. Because I'm doing pranayama, so I'm leading a very nice life. I said, what nice utilization of pranayama. It has completely defeated the purpose. The purpose is samadhi. Dhyana vasthita tadgatena manasa pashyanti yam yogina. The purpose of dhyana yoga is to meditate on the four-handed form of Vishnu in a relentless, unconditioned, unmotivated, uninterrupted way in the core of your heart. Where is that purpose? Except that everything is there. I'm shaking my belly and I'm pressing my nose so that I can drink tea nicely and I can eat rasgulla nicely. So that I will become thin and I'll become more handsome or more beautiful. And after becoming more beautiful, I can attract my neighbors. After all, Navratri is going on. No? What is Navratri meant for these days? Sorry to say. Sorry? Garva, yeah. Garva karenge. Whole year I'll wait for Navratri so that I can dress up nicely and then show off and then do Garba. What nice puja people are doing these days. All sinful activities are happening in the name of puja. The sale of intoxicants and the sale of contraceptives increased by 40% during Navratri. Amazing work done by the so-called Hindus. Such nice puja they are doing, no? And then we blame, oh, these missionaries, they are spoiling us. These secular people, they are killing us. We are killing ourselves. What kind of puja is this, you tell me? This Navaratri. And 9 days, 9 times you have changed the photo on Facebook and your WhatsApp. And all time you have demanded different kinds of sense gratification. Taking more intoxicants, engaging more in illicit sex. And you are calling this as Navaratri. What kinds of songs you dance upon in Navaratri? Is that bringing your devotion to Mother Durga? Or is it making you more and more fallen in your state of existence? So we are responsible on our own for the declining of the Sanatana Dharma and the Vedic culture. These are some strong questions which people like me ask. What are we doing? So I was talking about meditation. Why this concept of why this discussion came? Because for every meditation, there is yama and niyama. And you become a mithyachari or a pretender if you do not follow the yama and niyama and you simply want to do something. One is not qualified for some activity, but they want to do it. It's like I'm not trained in surgery, but I want to enter the operation theater. Mother Kali, please accept this bali. This is my first operation.
Tea and coffee.
Yes.
What is the reason?
Question has come, why we should not drink tea and coffee? Tea and coffee are also considered intoxicants because they are addictive. They are addictive. They increase the addiction. I've seen people who do not, when they do not get tea, their hands start shaking. They get headache. I've seen my sister. Before 7 a.m., if she doesn't drink tea, her hands will shake. And all addictions are progressive. So therefore, those who want to strictly or sincerely follow the principles and want to take initiation in ISKCON, over a period of time, they have to give up tea and coffee also, because we do not allow. Because it's a kind of intoxicant. No intoxication means no tea, no coffee. So we can suggest if somebody is really very much attached to drinking tea and coffee, then you can replace it with herbal tea and herbal coffee, because that is not addictive. You are drinking a herbal tea. I don't know what's herbal coffee, but herbal tea, if you drink for 50 days, and after that for 100 days you don't drink, you don't feel a difference much. But that's not the case with tea. So therefore, tea and coffee is also not advised for any kind of meditation or any kind of spiritual practice. But these yoga studios will not tell you. They'll probably serve you tea also during your yoga nidra. So now, till now we have discussed that what is good, work or renunciation, and we have tried. We actually did not fully conclude. We just understood that renunciation due to problems is not good. This much is clear. Renunciation due to problems is not good. We are yet to conclude which is good, work or renunciation. That conclusion we have not done. Now, I'm getting into the next segment of our discussion. Which work is good and which is bad? Option A, is this good? Okay. Option B, is this good? Both are not good.
The duty, if I have to. The military, I'm okay. I have to say, I'm sorry, I have to protect them. I will.
Good. Most of you told it's not good, but there is one person who wants to be different. And he's telling it is contextual. Let's see. Which of them is bad? Option A, is it bad? Anything is bad in that? Option B, is it bad? What do you have to say?
Again, same thing.
Contextual. Anybody else wants to say this is contextual? Good. Some people are saying it's contextual, but on the record, 90% of you are saying no, it's not contextual. More about the purpose of those actions than the action itself. Very good. That is the correct answer. Everybody agreed that charity is good, but is charity to a terrorist organization or charity to a drunkard, is it good or bad? That means charity in itself cannot be good. Many people like to give charity to the people on the traffic signals. Consider what you're doing and what will happen with your money after being taken. Today is Sunday. On Wednesday, by Krishna's inconceivable mercy, I was in Tirumala, Tirupati. I had a laddu, the divine laddu, in my hand. And I was focusing on that laddu. So one lady came to me, she said, I also want some laddu. So I had some extra laddus. So I was giving one laddu to her. She said, no, give me money. I will buy. I said, what you'll buy? She said, I want to buy laddu. I said, see, why do you want to go and take money, stand in the queue and tell them and then buy and then again go for a carry bag and then come out? It's like a 25 minutes affair. I'm giving you the end result straight away. Why don't you take? No, I want money. I don't want laddu. So then it became very clear that she wouldn't have used the money for buying laddu, but she would have used it for some other ulterior purpose. So if I give her that money, she will use it in some ulterior purpose and I will get the karma of that. So it is better, I recommend that everybody should carry some prasad with them always. Especially householders, always offer some nice bhoga to Krishna and pack it with you. And whenever you go out, whenever you see anybody begging or anybody in need, give them some prasad. And then they'll not take, they'll throw it back at you. And then you'll understand what's going on. So charity to a terrorist organization cannot be good. Charity to a drunkard cannot be good. Similarly, all of you told that speaking truth is good. But speaking truth to a butcher, seeking the path of a runaway cow, is it good or bad? Suppose one butcher is trying to kill a cow and the cow has escaped and you have seen the cow running this side and the butcher is coming to ask you, where is the cow? And you are saying that, oh, I am a student of Bhagavad-Gita and Krishna says one should never lie. So I will tell, oh, the cow has gone this side. And the butcher finds the cow and slaughters it. Is it good?
But we don't know.
What? The butcher is coming with, for what purpose he will come? Come on. Don't be so speculative.
So does it mean protecting innocent? Yes, instead of cow, it can be a human one.
I'm giving the example of cow. I'm not talking about human beings innocent or not being innocent. That's a different thing. Sometimes some people come and shoot hundreds of people, and a segment of the country feel that they are innocent and they should be treated very nicely in the jail. So let's not get into that discussion. I'll come to it, by the way. So is all of you told that shooting is bad? This Mataji told, this Mataji told, this Prabhuji told, this Prabhuji told. I know you didn't say that. I didn't say. So all of you told. But then, is shooting a soldier during the war bad? One has been ordered to do that. They are following instructions. It's not bad, it's your duty.
For the bad.
As per Prabhupada, bad. Why?
He's not telling that the country divided, they all are only.
No. See, it's a matter of you are a soldier and there is a major above you and he has ordered you that you fight. That's the question which I'm discussing. That's this case which I'm discussing. Similarly, all of you told that beating someone is bad. Now I'll give a very, very sensitive case. A parent out of concern for child's welfare sometimes punishes by beating. Is that bad? How many of you were beaten by your fathers? If I ask this question to the present generation children, probably I'll be in prison. I remember when I was a small child, we used to get together in a park and we used to discuss how you got beaten up and how I got beaten up. And then we used to compare our fathers. And sometimes we would say, I wish I had your father and my father. This was the constant discussion. But jokes apart, a parent out of concern for the child's welfare sometimes punishes by beating. Is that bad or good? Everybody agrees to this?
Bad now. Bad now.
Why bad now? Bad for the child or bad for the misdirected society? So who cares for the misdirected society? It's good for the child.
If I don't tell him what is wrong, right? For example, fire, he won't touch it. Tell him fire. Like repeat my.
Chanakya Pandit says, when the child is below 5 years, there is no point disciplining the child because the child cannot understand. But from the age of 5 till the teenage, parents should be strict with their children because that is the time when they can understand and when they can be trained and disciplined. But as soon as they come to the teenage, the parents should not try to discipline their children. Rather, they should become friends of their children. Many people don't know how to be proper parents also. Just like when you're making a pot, only when the pot is in a formative stage, when the pot is kacha or when the pot is wet, you can shape the pot. But when the pot has dried up, what's the point trying to shape it up? It will only break. So similarly, after teenage, there's no point trying to discipline your children. Time has gone. If you did not discipline them before teenage, why do you want to discipline them now? Rather, become their friend. Because trying to discipline them after teenage is a very risky affair. The child will only break. So as long as your child is not a teenager and has come to the age where they can understand, try to discipline them as much as possible. But after they come to the teenage, try to become their friend. Try to treat them like an adult. Treat them so that they develop a sense of responsibility. When I became a teenager and when my father realized that there's no point trying to discipline him now, so he started treating me like an adult. We used to have a small garden. I used to stay in a village. So my father used to call me and ask that we are planning to plant potatoes. Should we plant this potato or should we plant that potato? And I knew nothing about farming. And my father knew it, that I'm a useless fellow. But still he used to give me that importance and he used to involve me in the important decisions of the house. We are planning to paint the house. Which color do you think we should use? We are planning to do this. What do you think? What's your opinion? That's a different thing whether he took my opinion or not, but he always consulted me and he made me feel important. And because of that, I developed a sense of responsibility. And I could see that he clearly treated me absolutely differently since I became a teenager. This is called good parenting. This is called, many people don't know. Even when their children have become teenagers, they are like, Sunta nahi hai, ye nahi hai, wo nahi hai. That's called very bad parenting. And when they are below teenage, that time they want to give all their love and affection. Bachcha hai. Bada hoke samajh jayega. Kuch nahi samajhega. But these days it's like the father raises the hand or father comes close also, पुलिस को कॉल कर देंगे, ट्विटर में डाल देंगे, ये कर देंगे, वो कर देंगे. I had a friend, whenever he was about to get beaten up, he used to run away from the house. And he used to go and tell 10 neighbors, my father is beating me. So he never got beatings. And as a matter of fact, I mean, jokes apart, he is a very bad person now, into very bad habits. I wish he would have got those beatings. So what can we understand? The answer is actions by itself. We are talking about karma. So actions by itself are not wrong or right. What is good for you may not be good for others. For example, there is a particular medicine which is good for you. It may not be good for others. Similarly, there is something which is working for you. You should not be very eager to superimpose it on others. Hum kar rahe hain, tum bhi karo. I bought this car, you also buy this car. I am not eating this, you also don't eat this. So we have to have that maturity to understand the situation. For example, there are various varnas in the society: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Everywhere we find such class of people. So the Brahmanas who have that, Bhagavad-Gita talks about it, chapter 18, Shloka number 42. Tells you the qualities of a Brahmana. 43 tells you the qualities of a Kshatriya. Like that. So if you are of a Brahmana nature, a Brahmana cannot be dependent on anyone. A renunciant cannot become dependent on anyone except Krishna. And a renunciant cannot tell a lie, or a Brahmana cannot tell a lie. And a Brahmana cannot be aggressive also. When people were assessing me whether I was qualified to be given the Brahminical initiation, they asked me a question. They said that you are traveling in a bus and you know that the fare of the bus is 30 rupees. But the conductor has cheated you and he has taken 60 rupees. What you will do? So I knew that a Brahmana cannot be aggressive. So I answered that first I will talk to the conductor and I'll tell him that I know the fare. And I'll tell him that I know what is being done is wrong. And I'll try to tell them that what is being done is not correct. And then there will be serious implications of this. It is incorrect, you should not do. I will advise him. But if still the conductor is not understanding, I'll let the matter go. And I will continue chanting Hare Krishna. But the person, another candidate, he was like, no, I'll fight for it. It is Krishna's money. How can he take it? So that fellow was rejected. He did not get the initiation. Vishwamitra, in his previous ashram, was a Kshatriya. He himself was expert in various kinds of warfare and military skills. But when he adopted the Varna of a Brahmana by becoming Vishwamitra, and when he was facing some problems, he went to Ayodhya to ask Ram and Lakshman. He himself didn't solve the problem because that's not the job of a Brahmana. That is the job of a Kshatriya. So a Brahmana is allowed to beg, but a Kshatriya is not allowed to beg. If a Kshatriya begs, it's like dishonor and equivalent to suicide for him. That's why Krishna told Duryodhana that you give me at least 5 villages. But Duryodhana didn't give that also. So point which I'm trying to say is that something which is good for one person may not be good for another person. A Brahmana is perfectly happy living by begging because he understands that I'm not the body, I'm the spirit soul. And my life is athatu Brahma Jigyasa. My life is meant for Brahma Jigyasa. But a Kshatriya does not have this understanding. So if we ask a Kshatriya to beg, it is not good. He should earn, get his rightful whatever he needs. Similarly, telling lie is not good, both for a Brahmana as well as a Kshatriya. But for Vaishyas who are in business, a little bit lying is allowed. Otherwise, how they'll do the business? A businessman has to tell his customer that you are my favorite customer. It's a lie. You're not my favorite. The moment I see your face, I start thinking that my whole day will be bad now. But he has to say out of courtesy, "Aap itne din se aaye nahi the. Where were you so many days? I was missing you so much. This shawl which has come is the best shawl, you know. And the price is 400 rupees, but only for you. It's for 300. So if he will not speak like this, he'll not be able to do business. So for Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, lying is absolutely a no-no. But for Vaishyas, it is allowed. So what I'm trying to say is that what is good for you may not be good for others, and what is bad for you may not be bad for others. So no work is in itself good or bad. So it is the intention behind the work which makes it good, bad, not simply the work. And this understanding or this aspect is called as karma. I repeat, the intention of the work and not just the work in itself makes it good or bad. And this understanding or aspect is called as karma. So no work is absolutely good, no work is absolutely bad. We cannot say something is absolutely good, something is absolutely bad without knowing the intention behind it. However, there is an exception to this. I repeat, there is an exception to this. There are some activities which are absolutely bad, irrespective of the intention behind it. They are meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, intoxication. Irrespective of the intention, these 4 activities are absolutely bad. No one can justify that, yeah, I killed a goat today and I ate. It was a nice thing to do. You don't know my intention. We don't want to know your intention. It is bad. Similarly, nobody can justify that today is little Shivratri, thoda le liye. Bholenath ka prasad hai. No. You cannot do it. You do not know who is Lord Shiva if you are drinking like that. Similarly, gambling cannot be justified. In some families, they say on the day of Diwali, we should do gambling. It's a tradition. Otherwise, Mother Lakshmi will go away. Gambling nahi kiya. Juwa nahi khela. Similarly, illicit sex, it can never be justified. So apart from meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, and intoxication, everything else, you have to see the intention behind whatever is happening. But only for these 4 things, don't consider the intention. No discussion, nothing. The person who is doing it can be considered to be a sinful person. Gambling, yeah.
And they lost the kingdom. My point is, why did they claim it? They lost the kingdom. So what was the right they have to claim them again?
See, this has happened twice. The first time when they lost the kingdom, that gambling match was not a fair gambling match.
Gambling is
Of course, it's never fair. But in Kshatriya, sometimes it's done. And in that gambling, things had become very nasty. Draupadi was stripped naked in front of people. At least the attempt was made. And everybody was hurling bad words to each other, and the whole atmosphere had become very corrupted. So at that time, just to save his face, Dhritarashtra returned everything. Pandavas never asked for it back. Dhritarashtra returned everything. But in the second gambling match, which happened immediately after that, after a few years, Yudhishthir didn't want to do it, but he was forced to do it because Yudhishthir had taken a vow that I will always follow my elders. Whatever they say, I will follow. So taking an advantage of that vow, Dhritarashtra told him, you come and gamble with my son. And the condition is that 12 years of exile, 1 year of incognito, and after that, you can come back. So Pandavas, when they rightfully came back, they were rightfully supposed to get back their kingdom. They did 12 years of exile and 1 year of incognito. So now they're supposed to get back.
But the point I was, they were rightful owners to the kingdom.
Who?
Pandavas.
Don't get into that discussion.
I want to know from what I read. So Dhritarashtra's father was, they are the elders. Pandavas have the right since he was 9. He was given as a substitute Pandava.
No. It's not about being elder. It's about, the question is, the kingdom of Pandavas or the kingdom of Hastinapur rightfully belonged to Dhritarashtra. No, sir. Your understanding is wrong. In Bharatvansh, there have been many times a case where the eldest son or the eldest brother has not been given the kingdom when he was not, because he was not qualified to get the kingdom. So it is always according to guna and karma, and not according to janma. Dhritarashtra was not qualified to be a king, so he was not made a king. Pandu was made the king. And when Pandu made Dhritarashtra as a caretaker of a kingdom, that does not mean that the sons of Dhritarashtra have to become the king. A caretaker is a caretaker. Suppose if you have a son and you have to go somewhere, you make somebody else as a caretaker and he also has a son. Just because you make somebody as a caretaker, his son should ascend to the throne. So therefore, at least 50-50 should have been done, and it was done. But then these sons of the caretaker, they wanted to usurp the whole thing. The kingdom of Hastinapur didn't want that. The Brahmanas didn't want that. The sages didn't want that. The country in general didn't want that. Nobody wanted it, but they wanted. Therefore, it was not fair. So this is a very nice book. It's called as The Laws of Nature. Lack of knowledge is the cause of suffering. Many people do not know what are the laws of nature, and they are simply working and they are suffering. So please try to read this book, Karma, The Laws of Nature. It has a very nice picture. It shows a man with the face of a cow and a cow with the face of a man. I think you have understood what is being discussed here. So the basic tenets of karma. Responsibility comes when intelligence is developed. I'm further discussing karma. First, I discussed how renunciation without transcendental realization, without purification of heart, and without guidance is not good. Now I'm discussing what is karma. We understood that no work is absolutely good or absolutely bad. The intention behind it is very important. But there are 4 activities which are absolutely bad. That is meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, and intoxication. Now I'm discussing more tenets of karma. We are going deeper into the discussion. That responsibility comes when intelligence is developed. For example, that child which is sitting here, he comes and he runs away with, let's say, the wallet which is kept here. What will people do? They'll say, what a cute child. I ran away with my wallet. Let me go and find that child and get my wallet back. And out of love, I'll give 100 rupees also. You took my wallet. So nice. Please take it again next time when I come. But let's say he comes and runs away with this wallet. What you will do? Tell me, what you will do? You'll find him and then beat him up and find his wallet and take out the money from that and then leave him alone and then give him to the police also. See, the same activity, when this child does, you feel very good. But when the adult does, he is punished. This is called karma. Responsibility comes when intelligence is developed. The more advanced you become in civilization and culture, the more knowledge you have, the more severe is the punishment for the sinful activities which is done. If a Shudra, anybody whose senses are not controlled and who's leading a life of sense gratification is called as a Shudra. If a Shudra commits a crime, the laws of nature will not so severely punish a Shudra because he's anyways, ruled by his tongue, belly, and genitals. So, what is the point of punishing such a person? But if a Brahmana means a Brahmana who is by guna and karma, not just by janma. But if a Brahmana knowingly commits a crime, then the punishment is very severe. So the human body is an evolved body which has evolved intelligence. Please try to understand what I'm talking about. In a human body, if you do some crimes or if you violate the laws of nature, it's very severe. A very nice, funny example is coming to my mind, but that is the truth of the society. I want all of you to hear it very sincerely and not beat me up after the class. A man is walking on the road. He has a wallet, and in the wallet there are 10,000 rupees. A thief comes, a pickpocket comes, he takes that wallet and runs away. The man realizes, finds the pickpocket, tries to beat him up. Other people around also try to beat him up. The same man comes home. His wife comes and takes out the wallet and takes out all the money. And the man thinks, she loves me so much. Same theft and dacoity is happening. Please understand. Same theft and dacoity is being happening on the street. One is becoming so careful and beating up. Same theft and dacoity relatives and family members are doing at home, but we feel they love me so much. This is called as illusion. Krishna consciousness means you come out of this illusion. Do you understand? It's a very funny example. This is how the society is caught up. When children waste the parents' money, parents feel good. Apna ladka hai, karne do. After all, he is the son of banta hai. But if a servant will waste 10 rupees also, maro. This is called moha, attachments. So responsibility comes when intelligence is developed. It is our job to develop that intelligence. And attachment to temporary things and attachment to self and the extensions of the self does not allow us to get that sense of responsibility. But that does not mean that we will not be severely punished for what is being happening to us. I'll tell you another story which will help you to understand what is karma. there was a donkey. How many of you have seen a donkey? Some of us see the donkey every day in the mirror when we get up. The donkey, two donkeys were there. Every day in the morning, the washerman would load the donkey with 50 kgs of clothes on one side and 50 kg on another side. None of those clothes belongs to the donkey. And the washerman is beating them up and taking them to the river. And after the clothes are washed, the clothes become heavy also. Again, the same clothes, which are now of 150 kgs due to the water retention in them, is being brought back, beating up. And then this has been happening at least 10 times a day, up, down, up, down. And in the end of the day, little bit grass is given to the donkey. Sounds familiar? Good. If you are able to understand and correlate, that means you are intelligent. If you're not correlating, that means you have to chant Hare Krishna. Okay. So one of these donkeys thought that I am being beaten up so much and, and I am doing so much hard work, and none of that work belongs to me also. It belongs to someone else. And in return, I'm getting a little bit of grass. That grass is freely available everywhere. Why should I get beaten up so much on a daily basis? Let me run away. So this donkey got this realization. And he started talking to another donkey. That look, just for little grass, he's beating us so much, beating us so much and making us work so hard. That grass is freely available. Let's run away from here. The other donkey said, no. Don't even think about it. Work is worship. Karmi hi puja hai. I should stay here and work. The other donkey said, go to hell. I'm going. So he ran away. After 6 months, this donkey who ran away, he came back. He was happier, more cheerful. He had put on more weight and he was eating more nicely also. He said, look at me. I'm still alive. I'm not with the washerman and I'm still alive. This is the proof that, we can have a better life. Now you also come out. You also come out and run with me. So the other donkey, when he saw the proof now, he said, what you're telling is right. But still I cannot come with you. So the other donkey asked, okay, why you cannot come? Now you've got the proof. You've read the Bhagavad-Gita, you've got the proof. So the donkey said that, see, this washerman has a daughter. She doesn't know how to cook properly. Sometimes when she does not cook properly, the washerman scolds the daughter. And he says that next time if you cook such bad meal, I'll marry you to that donkey. So I'm simply waiting for that day, that I'll get the daughter. So the main reason why somebody remains a donkey is this. Honey and money. That's all. If somebody asks you that you have become a donkey from the last 20 years, sir, but after becoming a donkey for 20 years, you'll not get honey and you'll not get money. Will you become a donkey? No. So the main problem is that honey and money. If you can understand this point, then your life will become much better. Another story of another donkey. You like stories? I'm trying to cover my subject matter through stories because many of you are getting distracted. So I'm telling stories instead of telling Bhagavad-Gita shlokas. There was one donkey, and the owner of the donkey put the deity of Lord Krishna on the donkey. He tied it up. And that donkey was walking across the market. And everybody who was seeing the deity of Lord Krishna was bowing down. This donkey was thinking, I'm so important. Wherever I go, people offer obeisances to me. And they tell me, Prabhuji has come, very nice, very nice. And he was becoming puffed up. And then while coming back, the deity was removed. And he was coming back on his own. But this time, nobody was caring for the donkey. He was not understanding why people are not offering obeisances to me. So he went and stood in front of one of the people. And you look at me on offer of the person kicked him. And he was thinking, why am I not being able? Why obeisances are not coming to me? So similarly, another kind of donkey are those donkeys who do not see the hand of Krishna in every activity which is happening in their life, and they take personally the credit of everything. This is actually a verse of the Bhagavad-Gita. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. Everything is done by the modes of material nature. Only an idiot thinks that he is the doer. So there are two kinds of donkeys. I've told you these stories so that people avoid becoming donkeys in life. So that is the basic tenets of karma. Responsibility comes when intelligence is developed, and when intelligence is developed, karma becomes very severe. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and human life is a junction. Many of us have been sitting in some trains, and one train, we have to get down at a particular junction and catch some another train. If you miss that junction, then what is going to happen? Journey is destroyed. Similarly, human life is that junction. From this junction, you can either continue in the cycle of 84 million species of life, degrade further, or else you can come out of the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease and go back home, back to God. Do not miss this junction. Do not miss this human form of life. Chant Hare Krishna, associate with devotees, read the Bhagavad-Gita, eat Krishna Prasad, go back home, back to Godhead. Don't miss this divine opportunity. Getting a human form of life and not worshipping Radha and Krishna is like eating poison. I repeat, getting a human form of life and not chanting Hare Krishna is like eating poison knowingly. I cannot bring all the cows who are eating grass outside and will come and sit and attend the Bhagavad-Gita class. The cows will simply be chewing and they'll not understand much. Similarly, I cannot force all the dogs in the class. I cannot order a dog that, okay, you listen to this verse and follow. But this can be done to human beings. And getting a human body, if one does not become Krishna conscious, Bhagavad-Gita conscious, it's like knowingly eating poison. Later on, when one is standing in front of Yamaraj, you cannot say this. Nobody told you. Yamaraj will show you the YouTube video of this class. High definition. बोला तो था तुमने, सुना तो था आपने, किया नहीं, अब भुगतिए. Especially, I'm saying that responsibility comes when intelligence is developed. Now that you are attending this Gita course, so you are expected to follow. Now, karma. Have you ever thought why there are so many species of life? Why there are so many bodies around you? Why is there a pigeon? Why is there a sparrow? Why is there a lizard? Why is there a blue whale? Why is there a demigod? Why is there a demon, rakshasa, ghost? Have you ever thought of all these things? It's all according to the karma. So I'm quoting the verse from Vishnu Puran. How that a spirit soul can assume 84 lakh species. Jalaja Navalakshani Sthavara Laksha Vimshati Kramayo Rudya Sankhyankaha Pakshinam Dasalakshanam Trimshal Lakshani Pashabha Chatur Lakshani Manushaha. I've never seen such a detailed description in any place other than Vishnu Puran. There are 9 lakh species in water. If somebody asks you how many aquatics are there, you have to say 9 lakh. Don't waste your time in research. Take the knowledge from Lord Brahma. He has created it. So he knows it. There are 9 lakh species in water. There are 20 lakh non-moving entities, thavara, such as the trees and the plants. There are 11 lakh species of insects and reptiles, and there are 10 lakh species of birds. As far as the quadrupeds are concerned, there are 30 lakh varieties. 30 lakh varieties of four-legged animals. And there are 4 lakh varieties of human species. Now, our scriptures, though, they don't talk simply about Earth or the earthly planetary system. This statement has been made keeping in mind the whole universe. So throughout the universe, we get these kind of division of bodies. So humans are found only on the earthly planetary systems, and sometimes in other planetary systems also. But the point which I'm trying to say is that by our actions, we can either go to higher species or we can go to lower species. And we are responsible for it. If somebody has taken birth with a silver spoon in the mouth, it is not random. And if somebody has taken birth in a poverty-stricken house, such that their parents have left the child due to poverty, that's also not random. If somebody has been born deaf, that's also not random. And if somebody has taken birth with a unprecedented, unparalleled ability, a genius in some stream, that's also not random. It's all karma. However, we should not become, like, oh, I have seen this beggar sitting here, paralyzed. He has done some bad karma, he deserves to suffer like this. We should not think like that. We should have this knowledge that yes, because of the previous activities, one is suffering, but let me become compassionate. Let me try to give some prasad to him. Okay, here is a person who is suffering because of the bad activities in previous life. Let me try to connect them to Krishna consciousness. Oh, here is the son of such and such, Tata, Birla, and Malya. Certainly, they must have done some good activities in their previous life so that they have been born with a silver spoon in their mouth. So let me help them by giving them a Bhagavad-Gita. So a devotee should be compassionate to everybody. One question, why is it saying 4 lakh kinds of human species? I have seen only one kind of human species, 2 ears, 1 nose, 2 eyes, 1 mouth, 9 holes in the body. That's the only kind I have seen. Why is it saying, is Vishnu Puran wrong? Why is it saying 4 lakh species of human beings? Yes. Aliens, huh? But it's telling human species, not alien species. Color and structure, huh? Black lives matter. Brown lives also matter. White lives also matter. So if somebody has a white complexion, they are of a different species, and a black complexion, they are of a different species. Then here the species or the differentiation of 4 lakh species is based on the different kinds of consciousness. A Brahmana has a different consciousness than a Kshatriya. So a Brahmana is a different species and a Kshatriya is a different species. So 4 lakh divisions is done on consciousness. Did you follow? So, how many of you have faith in scriptures? Let me ask the counter question. How many of you do not have faith in scriptures? Some mythology they are doing, saying, who knows whether it is correct or wrong? I have faith in Wikipedia. I want to know something, I'll go on Quora and I'll put faith in Quora. I want to know some information, I'll read in Wikipedia, which idiots like you and me can edit. And I'll put my faith there. But Vishnu Puran, who knows? So how many of you find it difficult to believe the statements of the scriptures? Please raise your hand. Don't feel pressure. If you do not believe, please raise your hand.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Is it your first class today? So it is expected. In your first class, you'll always have a doubt. You also don't have full faith? You raised your hand? Yes. Yes. So therefore, it's not correct. Because I cannot understand, so it's not correct. Yeah. Only those things which I can understand, I'll accept. And the things which I cannot understand, I will not accept. Is that a fair proposal? If your child tells you this, Papa, whatever you are saying, I cannot understand. So therefore, I will not accept. What you will tell your child? You're an idiot. Now you understand. Just because my limited mind and my limited intelligence cannot understand doesn't mean that the scriptures are wrong. Please try to understand that a small lizard cannot understand how the Bangalore International Airport is working. But that does not mean that whatever notations or whatever recordings are done regarding the Bangalore International Airport is wrong. A lizard cannot understand. Similarly, a small, tiny human being cannot understand the complexity of this universe, which is mentioned in the scriptures. That does not mean that the scriptures are wrong. Do you follow? Do you follow? Sometimes, let me make that sometimes always. Chapter 15, Bhagavad-Gita, Shloka number 15. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattah smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyo vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. Krishna says, Vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyo. The word Veda means knowledge. And he says that the end result of all knowledge is to understand me. I'm answering your question. The end result, if I'm a lawyer and my expertise in law has not led me to Krishna, then my life is a waste. If I'm an economist and my economics has not made me Krishna conscious, then it's a waste of time. If I'm an engineer and my engineering has not made me God conscious, then it's a waste of time. Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo. I am a great Vedic scholar, but after millions of years of Vedic study in various lifetimes, I have not come to the conclusion that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and my life is meant to serve him. Vasudeva sarvam iti. If I have not come to this understanding, then my Vedic study is a farce. My engineering is a farce. My medicine is a farce. My law is a farce. My political science is a farce. Vedaisht sarvair aham eva vedya. And after that, Krishna says, Vedanta krit veda vid eva chaham. I am the compiler of the Vedanta and I am the knower of the Vedas. That knowledge of the Vedas has been transferred in the heart of Brahma. And Brahma has given it to Narada and Narada has given it to Vyasa and that Vyasa has written it down. So this knowledge of the Vedas is coming directly from Krishna. Now do you think that whatever Krishna is saying can be wrong also? So sometimes should become always. So that is why the scriptures are called as apaurushaya. Paurusheya means humanly, but apaurushaya means it is beyond humans. Actually, it is beyond demigods also. Apaurushaya. Scriptures. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. Vedanta krit veda vid eva cham. The Vedic literature is coming from Krishna. Some less intelligent people say that I will not read the Bhagavad-Gita. It has been written by a human being and some mistakes could have been possible. They don't know that this Bhagavad-Gita is coming from Krishna only. They say, I don't follow the Vedic literatures. I'll follow the Constitution of India, which every 6 months gets amended by the government, by the legislative people. I'll follow that. But Bhagavad Gita, which has not been amended since the last millions and billions of years, I don't trust that. I trust Wikipedia, I trust Quora, I trust my neighbor, I trust the hawker and the thela wala who is standing outside my apartment, but I don't trust the Bhagavad Gita. That is our sad state of existence. Never ever have doubt in the statements of the scriptures. Scriptures are apaurushaya. They are coming directly from Krishna. Bhagavad-Gita chapter 15, Shloka number 15. and have full faith in them. If the scriptures say that if you lead a sinful life, very horrible looking, twisted faces, coppery red eyes, and coppery haired people called Yamadutas come to take you away, then it is the reality. And what Yamadutas do, that is also described in the scriptures. That's also the reality. Don't think that this is mythology. Actually, I hate the word mythology. Very expertly, the Western society has called the Vedic literature as mythology, saying that it is myth. It's not myth. It's science. It's knowledge. Don't use the word mythology. It is Vedic literature. So never have any doubt in the Vedic literature, and whatever they say is very correct. So now, the final statement as far as karma is concerned. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavitaha. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. This is called karma. Karma shapes your consciousness. The work which you do shapes your samskara. And at the time of death, you don't have option. It's not easy. बहुत लोग बोलते हैं कि let me do something bad, and when I'm dying, I'll just ask someone to bring a photo of Krishna, and I'll see the photo, and I'll think of Krishna, and I'll go back to God. मजा भी करेंगे, भगवत धाम भी जाएंगे. That's not easy.
We are thinking like that.
Some people think like that. That's not the case. If thinking about God or thinking something positive had been so easy, why are so many people in depression? Why are so many psychiatric sessions going on? Why are so many people taking medicines just to become positive in life? Why is the mind constantly punishing people? Why are people committing suicide? Because it is not easy to think of God or think even something positive. Why? Because our samskaras and our mind, our mental thought process has been shaped up by the kind of karma which we are doing. So if we do not do good karma, and if we are thinking that I will think of Krishna at the time of death and I will go back to Godhead, it's not possible. And this is an eternal law of nature. If you don't know it, if I don't know it, I'm an idiot. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. The whole world does not know this. That is the sad state of existence. We should really go out and tell everybody that it's not about art of living. It's about art of dying. We are practicing for that one final exam called death. And we have to pass that exam. If I'm thinking of my wife at the time of death, then what I'll become? If I'm thinking of a dog at the time of death, then what I'll become? Do you want to become a dog? Do you want, if I'm thinking of Brahma at the time of death, then what I'll become? Do you want to become Brahma? Why? He has so much powers. Demigod. So he wants to go to Goloka. He understands that even if he becomes a Brahma, he will be stuck in the cycle of birth, disease, old age, and death. He wants to come out of it and go back home, back to Godhead. And he wants to think of Krishna at the time of death. Now, what do you think is needed to think of Krishna at the time of death? Krishna consciousness. A life of sadhana. It's not easy. I often give the example that you go out in this cowshed and put your head under the feet of a cow and let the cow crush your head, and you are getting so much pain, will you think of Krishna at that time? Not possible. No? Or let's say when you're going down the stairs, you fall down the stairs. What is the first word which will come out of your mouth? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Will you say like that? That requires practice. When Bali Maharaj was made a prisoner by Vamandev, tied by the Varun Pash, when his own kingdom was criticizing him, when his own wife was criticizing him, when his ancestors were weeping for his sad state, when Vamandev was also criticizing him, when his spiritual master was criticizing him, at that time he thought of Krishna. It's not easy to do that. That requires training. Similarly, when we are dying, when we have multiple organ failures going in the body, when the mind, with the Vata, Pitta and Kapha of the body has gone for a toss, complete imbalance, throat is choked, it's not easy to think of Krishna at that time. Only when somebody is in a good state and they are practicing Krishna consciousness with earnestness and sincerity, only for them Krishna will bless them. Nobody can remember Krishna at the time of death. It is only Krishna who will enter himself in your consciousness, and only then you can think of Krishna. And those who are sincere devotees of Krishna, only for them Krishna enters their consciousness at the time of death. That's why Krishna is telling yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tejampe kalita. Krishna is telling, my dear rascal, you never did devotional service. You always sided with atheistic people. Your knowledge was stolen away by illusion. You became a donkey. And you did not do devotional service. Now that death is coming, how can you think of me? But still Krishna gives some hope. Mrityu sarva haras chaham. He says that I come in the form of death and I take away everything from them. All your skyscraper, your bank balance, your family, your degree, your social respect, your gun, everything will be taken away by death. Whether you are Jayalalitha or you are Michael Jackson, you become a nobody after death. All your puffed up nature and your false ego and your rugged individualism can be there as long as you have not died. Once you die, and when you stand in front of Yamaraj, you cannot argue with Yamaraj. You can argue now. And I am trying to do this, it is better than bhakti. I am trying to do this, it is better than bhakti. But when you are standing in front of Yamaraj, you cannot argue. Do you wonder there is so much rugged individualism and so much socialism, secularism, feminism, and so many other isms going around, atheism. In the court of Yamaraj, so much argument would be happening, right? How can you say this? I don't accept it. The reality is that nobody says a word in front of Yamaraj. Because the moment you die, all your false ego is crushed. And then in front of Yamaraj, you just stand with your head bowed, and Yamaraj decides your punishment. That time, nobody even tries to defend themselves because that guilt consciousness has arisen. A whole lifetime of sinful activities, how immediately after death that guilt consciousness has come? Because they have seen Krishna in the form of death. A small experience of Krishna cleanses their heart. So therefore they become purified when they stand in front of Yamaraj. And nobody argues, "Arey, aise kaise bol diya?" You're telling I am doing sinful, I'm not sinful, you are sinful. This does not happen. So therefore it's better to become Krishna conscious and think of the name, the form, the qualities and the pastimes of Krishna at the time of death. And that is only possible when you lead a life where you're thinking of the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of Krishna all throughout, 24 hours. Otherwise, it's not possible. So therefore, keeping this in mind, I would like to end today's discussion giving you the practical tip of the day. Number one, have faith in scriptures. Because anyways, there is no other option. Our senses have 4 defects. Who can tell me what are the 4 defects our senses have? Our senses are imperfect. Our senses are in illusion. There is a tendency to commit mistakes. And because of this, there is a tendency to cheat. So these are the 4 natural defects which are there in our senses. So using our senses, we cannot understand the supreme absolute truth. Pratyaksha Praman and Anuman Praman cannot help us. Only the Shabda Praman, that is the knowledge which we are getting from scriptures, can help us understand the absolute truth. Do you follow? There is no other option only. Secondly, our knowledge is perfect. That means the knowledge from the scriptures is perfect because it is coming from the perfect source, Krishna. We never say that I am perfect or you are perfect. We say that our knowledge is perfect because we are taking knowledge from the perfect person, that is Krishna. Therefore, our knowledge is perfect. And Krishna has told us what he wants us to do. Now, choice is ours. There is the Bhagavad-Gita where Krishna has told, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami ma shuchah. Abandon all varieties of religions and just surrender unto me. But I will not surrender. My dear Lord Shri Krishna, I am a rascal. I cannot surrender. I will do all nonsense, but I will not surrender to you. Then I'll have to suffer. So Krishna has told us what he wants to do, wants us to do. The choice is ours. So have faith in the scriptures, follow them. Not even a single word written in the scriptures is false. Lead a life based on scriptures. And lastly, I would like to tell you that a very sacred month is going on. That is called as the Karthik Month. Just like a woolen merchant waits for the winter the entire year to make nice business in the winter season. Similarly, every spiritual practitioner waits for this Karthik month to come. Every month has a presiding deity. If you will read the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna says, amongst the months, I am Margshish. So after Karthik comes Margshish. We say Sita Ram, Radhe Shyam, Karthik Margshish. So can you guess who is the presiding deity of Karthik? Sita Ram, Radhe Shyam, Karthik Margshish. Radharani. So the presiding deity of Karthik is Srimati Radharani, and Srimati Radharani is an extremely merciful personality. She's so humble. She's so humble that if anybody stands in front of Srimati Radharani and prays, my dear Srimati Radharani, please recommend my name to Krishna. Then Srimati Radharani says, my dear Lord, this person is a better devotee than me also. Can you please give your mercy to him? So any japa, tapa or vrata done in the month of Karthik yields millions, billions times results. Why? Because Srimati Radharani wants it. And whatever she recommends to Krishna, Krishna cannot deny. Because she is the best devotee of Krishna. There is one quality in Srimati Radharani which purchases Krishna. You know what is that quality? Can you take a guess? Children can go in another room. Children class is going on. So what is that one single quality of Srimati Radharani which purchases Krishna? The answer is humility. Srimati Radharani is so humble that Krishna just does not say no to anything which she recommends. And in this Karthik month, whatever we do, we get a lot of benefit, spiritually speaking, because Srimati Radharani is the presiding deity of this month. So therefore, we recommend a very simple vrata for everybody. One vrata is offer a ghee lamp or small lamp dipped in ghee every day to the photo of Damodar. You see a photo in the altar right now. Mother Yashoda trying to bind Lord Krishna. Can you see that photo? That is called as the Damodar Leela. That happened on the day of Deepavali, and that happened in the Karthik month. You offer a ghee lamp every day to the photo of Yashoda Damodar. The Skanda Purana says that anybody who offers a ghee lamp to the photo or to the deity of Damodar or Krishna, now whatever sinful activities they have done in billions of lifetimes is finished in 1 second. Now, how many of you feel you have a clean slate? Please raise your hand. Like, I have not done any sins. How many of you feel like that? Then you should offer a ghee lamp every day. So one vrata I will request all of you to take is offer a ghee lamp every day. Every day in the evening in the center, we are organizing that event. If you can't do it at your home, come to the center. We sing Damodar Ashtakam followed by ghee lamp offering. So you do this. You take this simple vrata till what is the last day of Karthik? Sorry? 8th November. 8th November. Till 8th November, actually, if you do every day, that's not a problem. But at least until 8th November, every day, every family member should offer a ghee lamp to Krishna. Can we offer now? Do we have arrangements? Ghee lamp? Can we do it now? Okay. What do you suggest? Evening or now? Now we'll do? Okay. So do this activity, offer a ghee lamp every day. Next, try to wake up early in the month of Karthik, and we'll be organizing mantra meditation sessions. We'll give you a Zoom link where you can join online, and many other devotees are joining online. And let's all together chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Chant, take a vow that I will chant at least 2 rounds or 4 rounds or whatever, 8 rounds. Take a vow and follow it throughout the month. Wake up early. Chant Hare Krishna with a fixed number with a vow, numerically a fixed number. Read the Bhagavad-Gita for 10 minutes every day. This can be your Karthik Vrata. I'll repeat. Show a ghee lamp to Krishna every day. Photo of Yashoda Damodar. We are doing it in the center every evening. You can join here also. What time do we do in the evening? 6 p.m. the Aarti starts. I'll let you know the time. I'll ask. Nobody is here. I'll let you know the time. One thing I'm a little hesitant to say, but still I will say, please daily have bath in the month of Karthik in the morning. And while having bath, you say Ganga, Ganga, Ganga 3 times. The scriptures say that if you have bath, chanting the name of Ganga, it is equivalent to Ganges bath. So in the morning, what I'm doing is that I'm having bath in the Brahma Muhurta. Before 4:30, I have my bath. That is my vrata. I mean, I do it throughout the year. I'm just showing off now. But others can do it now. At least in the month of Karthik, get up early, have bath, chanting Ganga, 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 or chant some shlokas of Bhagavad-Gita while having bath. Join the mantra meditation session. Offer ghee lamp. Chant. Take a vow. I'll chant 2 rounds, 4 rounds, 8 rounds, 16 rounds, 100 rounds. Take some vrata, a numerically fixed number, and chant those number of rounds. And read the Bhagavad-Gita 10 minutes every day. This vrata, if you follow, I can guarantee you will become very spiritually advanced in Krishna consciousness. And by the mercy of Srimati Radharani, you will get the mercy of Krishna. Another announcement, this month is called as Damodar Month because the Damodar Leela has happened. So we are organizing a seminar every Wednesday and every Friday online on Zoom. I will discuss the Damodar Leela. So we'll circulate the link. It's not, don't come to the center here. I'll not be here. It is online. So from your home, at your place, at your pace, you please attend this seminar. So I have divided the Damodar Leela into 10 different parts, and I'll try to go in depth of each aspect of Damodar Leela. My style of discussion is that I don't just discuss the Leela, I derive lessons from it. Life lessons from Damodar Leela, something like that. So every Wednesday and every Friday for this Karthik month, I'll be doing it. Whoever gets time can join. So this is a very nice Karthik Vrata. As much as you can, you do. But I can guarantee you that if you do this, the result will be simply wonderful. But if you miss this, it will be not good. You are like, you have an ocean of spiritual wealth in front of you and you don't want to take it. That is not considered very intelligent. Homework for today's session is to chant and learn the shloka number 8.6. I have one question and then we go towards the lamp offering. How many of you are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra regularly every day? At least one round. As a teacher, I'm not successful. Many of you are attending the sessions but not chanting. That means I'm not doing a good job. So I'll request you to meet me after this session and kindly advise me that what I should do so that you will start chanting. Because if you're not chanting, there's no point sitting here, coming every Sunday, preparing so many slides, giving classes. What's the point? Shrama eva hi kevalam. I'm simply wasting my time also. And your time also. The end result of all these classes is that you should chant. And if you are not chanting, then I think you deserve a better teacher. So I will request all those who are not chanting to please meet me after this class and kindly suggest me what I can do, how I can improve myself so that you'll start chanting. And I'm very serious about it. I'll ask this question again in the next class. And if the result is not good, then I'll be feeling very bad. So now we move towards the end of today's session. Whatever result was obtained in Satyuga by meditating on Vishnu, in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifices, and in Dwapar Yuga by serving the Lord's lotus feet can be obtained in Kali Yuga by simply chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,